Hi, welcome to Momsdoordecor. I'm Nicole, and I am going to make a Happy Halloween wreath today. And I've already gone ahead and started cutting the ribbon, and I cut them at 12 inches. I've got this pattern. I got a black, white, and I've got jack-o'-lanterns to match the sign. Okay, and I've already gone and set up the wreath form. And I have an 18-inch wreath form. And I have 16 ties on each. I used pipe cleaner. I just used a brown because I didn't have the black or an orange. So I'm going to go ahead and start with putting the deco mesh on. I'm using a 21-inch deco mesh in orange. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and gather the ends. And I'm just going to tie it on to one of the outside bars right before one of the ties. Doesn't matter where you start. I'm going to put a zip tie. I'm going to move that to the back. And I'm going to measure 10 inches. So I'm going to start at the 20 and go to the 10. And I'm going to place I'm just going to tie it around twice. I'm making a poof method here. Start at the 20 into the 10. Go to the next tie and then just tie it around twice. And pull out your poof. And when you're pulling your poof out, or when you're starting your poof, make sure that your ends are tucked under. That'll make it a nice clean look, and it'll be easier to pull out your poofs. Okay, so now we're completely around the first row, and I'm just going to tie it off here where I put my zip tie. Pull out my poof, and then I'm going to just start on the next row on the inside. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take a zip tie. And pull this to the next row like this. And then just zip tie it to before the next tie. To the railing, or to the bar. Zip tie that on nice and tight. Okay, and then don't tie the first tie. We're just going to do the 10 inches to the next tie, and we're just going to go around just like we did the first time. Pull out your poof. Make sure your ends are tucked under. I'm only twisting it around twice because we're going to add the ribbon in, and then we're going to twist it nice and tight after we do that. But you don't want to twist it too much when you're adding your mesh, because it'll make it bulky, and it will also use up your ties when you need it, you know, to add whatever you're going to add into your wreath. Okay, we're at the beginning where we started. I'm going to tie this off here. Okay, and then we're going to cut off the rest by tucking it under. Actually, we can just cut it off to begin with. About 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. And we're going to turn it around, and we're going to zip tie it to make it nice and secure, because we don't want it coming undone for our customers or ourselves if we're making it for ourselves. I'm going to cut that, and then we're just going to cut the excess. Okay. Just tucking in the pipe cleaners on the outside, moving them to the outside so we can access them. And then you can go around and fluff your poofs out. Okay. Oh, this one is not tied down. How did that happen? Easy fix. Okay, just go ahead and fluff out your wreath, make it nice and full. Okay, so we finished putting the base on with the 21-inch mesh. And, oh, let me just get my microphone on here. Okay. Make sure it's plugged in. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to put curls. So I took a 10-inch roll and I cut them in 10 inches. So they're 10 by 10. And I'm just going to roll them into curls. This is the actual end of the roll, so it's kind of curly naturally. So I'm going to take the mesh and I'm going to roll it. And I'm going to take another piece and roll that. This is another end piece. Okay, so I have 2 curls. I'm going to put them together and then put them into one of the ties. Okay, and this color is a black with an orange kind of foil on it, just to make the wreath more interesting and fuller. And then I'm going to actually put the ties in there too. So I'm putting the black and the orange together. I'm going to fold it in half, find the middle, squish it together. And this is actually the inside, but I want to start on the outside. It doesn't matter which one you start at. I'm just going to show you the one here. Okay. Just going to cross them like that and then squish them in the middle. like them coming out too. You can do them any way you want. You can curl them. You can leave them straight. I like to curl them sometimes. I like to leave them straight sometimes. It just all depends on what method I'm using and what, you know, what I'm feeling that day, really. All right, let's see here. Some more curls. I'm going to show you how I do it on the table here. So you can just curl the ends and just keep rolling up like that. You can do it like that, and then you can put your ribbons in. All at the same time if you want to. Pull your curls up. And then pull your ribbons out so we can see them. Okay, like that. We're going to cut these long parts of the pipe cleaners off at the end. Okay. And again, it doesn't matter which one you put first, the printed or the solid color. I like to put the printed on top, but that's a preference. twisting it about 3 times around and hold it nice and tight. Pull your curls up and your ribbon up. When I use the poof method, I always like to put curls. It just makes it fuller and makes it more interesting. Adds a little interest and just looks cute. That was backwards. I think I might just keep them like out to the outside like this. I like it like that sometimes. And then we're just going to add this one. This is the last one on the outside row. Okay, now we'll go on the inside. I've already started that one in the beginning, so I'm just going to go right alongside of it. Sometimes you need a holder, so I'm just going to stick that into my Easy Bow Maker. There we go. Okay, just gonna put that in there. You can go around and put in the curls all at once and then go back and do all the ribbon, whichever way you like. Getting ready for a few craft fairs. Oh, not this one. We are on the black and the oh, now see how this wire came out? That happens sometimes. I'm just going to push that right back in. There we go. Oh, that came out the other side too. That might be an issue because now there's no wire inside. Let's see if I can thread it back through. Sometimes you can. Sometimes you can't. You know, I'm just going to cut another piece. Just going to measure out 12. And I'm going to dovetail. And to dovetail, all you do is with one piece, you can fold the ends together to match, and then you just fold again long ways, and then you cut diagonal from the fold to the wired edge, and then you have dovetail. So if I would have put the one that the wire came out, I wouldn't be able to shape the ribbon the way I want it to go because the wire wouldn't be in there. So it would just flop around. And I don't want that. Alright, so I usually go around and fix all the ribbon the way I want it to be. Make sure they're up and showing. They're all pulled out. I think I'm going to do this side for the wreath. I'm just going to turn it around and pull out all the ribbons to the side, and I'm going to cut all the pipe cleaners. And these I want coming up here. Just going to cut them and tuck them in that. You'll be rearranging these for the entire time you're making your wreath. That's just the way it goes. Always fluffing and rearranging. I hear a cricket down here. My wreath room is in my basement, so sometimes we get some crickets down here. I don't particularly like crickets. I don't mind listening to them, but I don't want to see them. All right, so, all my pipe cleaners are cut and out of sight, and this is what we have so far. All right, we're gonna make the bow, we're gonna add the sign. Okay, bow time. I'm going to use my Easy Bow Maker. I usually use this. I do have other bow makers, but this is my go-to helper here. And we're just going to take the same ribbon we used. You can use other ribbon in it if you like. I'm just going to use these for this particular one. I'm going to dovetail. And I want my tails to be relatively short. I actually want them to be the same length as my loops. So I'm going to do just about an 8-inch, I'm going to do a 6-inch tail. Okay. And I'm going to do a 6-inch loop. Doesn't matter which one you're going to start with. I'm just going to start with the jack-o'-lantern. And I'm going to do a loop here. A loop. Put my tail up here. Move these back. 6-inch, 6-inch. Okay. And then I'm going to do a 6-inch on this side. And then I'm just going to cut. So I did 2 on this side, 2 loops, 1 loop, and then the tails on this either side here. And then I'm going to start the next ribbon. I'm going to do the white. I'm going to start the tail on this side instead of this side this time. And I'm going to do a 6-inch. I'll dovetail it when I'm at the end. And I'm going to do another 6-inch loop. Actually, I'm going to go 5. I'm going to do 5 with this one. I'm going to do 5. And then a 5. So I'm going to do 3 loops all together with each, except I'm starting on different ends. With each ribbon. So let me dovetail this one. I'm going to pull this one out front. I'm going to pull this one to the back. This ribbon has somewhat of a, it's not really glitter, but it's like a white glitter. I use it for Christmas a lot, but I thought it went really well with this particular wreath since it was glittery on the sign. We have some black glitter on the sign. Okay, so I got, all right, so I got 6, 5, and I'm going to do the black. I'm going to start again on this side because I started on this side last time. So twist that out front. I'm going to do 5.5 with this one. I'm going to go to 5 and then about halfway and twist. I'm going to go to 5 and then halfway in, twist. And then we can measure them by pulling them up, making sure they're even. They are. Okay, and then the last loop. We can just measure next to this one. And then we don't twist the last one because we're going to go up front. This one's going to come out back. And dovetail. There we go. And then we're going to use, just going to hold the center and move the loops around. There we go. Oh, this white one really sheds. Okay, and then we're going to use this one. And then we're going to finish with the jack-o'-lanterns again. Okay, we started the tail on this side, so we're going to start this one on this side. Okay, we're going to do 6. And we're going to do 5, but a little bit shorter than the first one. And then, I mean the last one. So we have the black, but we're going to go a little bit shorter. And just pull them up, make sure that they're even on both loops. This one's going to be a little bit shorter. Okay. Twist. And then one more loop. I'm going to pull this one to the back, this one to the front. So you want one tail on one side, one on the other. You want one loop on one side and 2 on the other. And that's the pattern I'm using. Okay. And then we're going to end with the jack-o'-lantern on the top. And this one I'm just going to do one loop on each side. I'm going to do the and I'm going to do about 4 inches. Okay. Actually, I can do the 2. I'm going to do the 3 loops since I'm already at the end here. Okay, and I got that one, and then I'm just going to twist one more loop. Okay, so I want this one on this side, this on this side. And then we're going to dovetail, and then we have one little piece left. I always save all my extra pieces to make like a funky wreath, funky bow. I'll show you in one of my videos what a funky bow is. They're really cool. Okay, so we're done that one. So here's our bow. I'm going to go ahead and take a pipe cleaner and I'm going to go underneath everything and make sure everything's in underneath. Push this down, make sure everything's inside the pipe cleaner. We're going to pull it, but not all the way. Just enough to pull it out of the Easy Bow Maker. Okay, and then we're going to hold it with one hand. And see where the indentation is there? We're going to just move it over. So that's the center. We're going to keep holding it. I like to hold it with all of my fingers on one side and then my thumb on the top. That way it's nice and sturdy. So before, we're just going to tighten it just a tad more. Before we tighten it all the way, I'm going to move all my loops in the spot that they belong on either side. All my tails are going opposite, one on one side, one on the other. Okay. This loop looks a little bit big, so what I'm going to do is just pull a little bit. There we go. Make sure they're kind of, no, this one's kind of long. This is why we don't tighten the zip tie yet. Okay, that's good. Let's pull them up. Yep. All right. Pull them over. Okay. Pull these over. That goes on this side. This goes on this side. Okay. So once we have everything where it should be, I'm going to put a pipe cleaner in the back of this because that's what we're going to use to tie it on to our wreath. Where are my pipe cleaners? Okay, so in the back, we're just going to slide the pipe cleaner underneath the zip tie, and then we're going to slide right out. Then we are going to tighten as tight as we can possibly go. Yank, yank, yank. And whoop, pipe cleaners can slide through. We're just going to tie the pipe cleaner a couple times, just twist it. And then we're going to use all of this to hold our bows because we're going to fluff it out. And just start at the bottom. I like to start with my ties, or my tails, and then kind of just take my loops, yank on them. They're not going to come out. And put your whole hand through it and kind of yank and pull and twist a little bit here. There we go. And just go around to each loop and fluff it out. This is probably my favorite part of making a wreath, is making a bow. I love making bows. Some kind of therapy in it. Okay, so the front ones are just going to be pulled up. Just pull on the, there we go. And there is our bow. And then we can just figure out where we would like it after we cut off the zip tie. We keep this part, and we're going to, actually, I'm going to show you a way that we're going to put it on so it stands up off of the wreath. I'm going to take a couple pieces of the deco mesh, and we're just going to crunch it in the middle. So squish it in the middle, 2 pieces like that. Put it on the bottom. There we go. And that's going to help it stand up. See, it gets crushed a lot, but then you fluff it back out. That's all. It'll do whatever you want. It's wired ribbon. And then you pick a spot on the wreath that you like. Put it. And I like to take the sign, place the sign, and place the bow. Maybe have the sign in the middle or off to the side just a tad, and then put the bow right here. I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take the bow. I'm going to place it right here. Or, you know what you can do? Instead of wrapping it around, I learned a new technique, which I take this plastic, like, it's a needle, but it's plastic. It's a knitting needle, and I just put it through like that, bend it over, and I stick it right in the center and pull it out the back. Super easy. Turn it around. And then you got your 2 pieces. You can just tie it right on. Will not hurt the mesh. Just goes right in. Tie it on, and there you go. Fluff out your bow. I'm going to fluff it up probably 10 times before you can actually, you know, start taking pictures. Okay, and then the sign's going to go here. And then we're going to fluff everything back out. I'm going to cut this part off because I'm going to put wire. So it already has 2 holes. I'm going to use those for the wire, and then I'm going to put 2 holes on the bottom using my hole puncher for metal. It's actually a jewelry hole puncher, and I'm just going to punch a couple holes on the bottom for wire. I'm going to cut 4 pieces of wire, relatively the same length. just long enough to wrap around the back. I usually make it longer than I actually need, but that's okay. I'd rather have more than not enough. So we have 4 pieces here. And when I'm all finished the wreath, I go back and fix all my ribbon again. Make sure it's all looking pretty and we can see it all. So I'm just adding my wire so we can attach. I like to make sure that my signs are nice and sturdy on there. I'm going to put it right there, like off. Like that. And the same thing, I'm going to use my plastic knitting. Look at this. Okay. And I'm going to put it underneath. Actually, I might put it on this side just to make it a little bit sturdier. Underneath here, wherever the wreath form is. Okay, like that. I'm going to take this one. Put this one through underneath. Okay, so then when you have your sign where you want it, I'm going to cut this part off. Then you're going to turn it around and fasten it. Okay, I'm going to, before I cut it, I'm going to turn it around and make sure everything's the way I want it. Pull out all the curls, the mesh, okay, and the curls, and take everything out from underneath of your sign. Make sure it covers the wire. Pull out all the, there we go. I like to try to hide the wire as best as I can. Sometimes, there we go. See, sometimes not. And I have this little, so I like to shake it, make sure everything's good. Maybe tighten this one just a tad more. And then I'll go ahead and trim the wire in the back. So I don't want it to scratch anyone's door. So we make sure nothing's sharp. Okay, it's perfect. Get it just the way you want it. And I have this little black pumpkin up here. I think I might put it here. I kind of like it there. So what I'm going to do is, these are foam. So I'm going to go ahead and I have these little, I don't know what you call them, floral sticks, I guess. I'm going to trim it off to the side like that. I'm going to put a little hot glue on, which I need to plug in my hot glue gun. Plugged in my hot glue gun. So I'm just going to show you what I do. Put a little bit of glue on the ends here. I'm going to stick it into the bottom of my foam pumpkin on an angle, and then it has a piece of wire here. I'm just going to go ahead and tie the wire onto the inside there. Okay, so that's how I put that on. So there you go. Got your happy Halloween wreath for your front door. And thanks for watching. My next video, I'm going to do a grapevine wreath. So stay tuned and hit like and subscribe if you're interested in seeing future videos. And I have other videos also on YouTube. But bye-bye for now.